Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Well, despite a weakening trend with the hurricane last 12 hours, still looks very impressive on the satellite photo, and it certainly covers a lot of area as far as the width of the wind field. We take a look at this high-resolution satellite photo, and the center of the storm is just to the east of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. It's now moving slightly east of north, and that's a good sign, and we want to see that. The sooner that turn to the northeast, the better the chances of the center of the storm passing further offshore, though certainly not going to give the all clear here, as it will be a very close call and more than likely coming close enough to give us some rain and some wind. Sort of the calm before the storm. Bob from Watch Hill, Rhode Island, sending us this picture from earlier this evening, but more than likely, especially tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, it will look like this. Some huge breakers and surf will be arriving. In fact, some of the weather buoys that we're looking at right now are showing these big swells offshore that are headed our way tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. So the center of the storm makes its closest pass by Friday evening. Now, we should note that now one of our computer models is indicating that the eye of the storm is going to pass over the mainland. It's going to stay offshore south of Nantucket, but because the storm is so wide, you still get some impact. Large surf, large waves. The highest risk, as far as, say, damaging wind and even hurricane force wind, would be for the outer Cape and islands, though the track is still a close call. Rough conditions along even the Rhode Island coast as well. Heavy rainfall, 3 to 5 inches. Beach erosion, some washover at the time of high tide tomorrow as those rollers are coming in. There may be some splash over on some coastal roads, and those areas that have the hurricane force winds, notably the Cape and the islands, some power outages are possible, in fact more than likely. Tropical storm force winds, here's some terminology. Those are wind speeds between 39 or as low as 39 to as much as 73. Hurricanes have winds over 74 miles per hour. So keeping that in mind, this is how the warnings are shaping up. The areas in orange, a tropical storm warning. Notice it does not include our northwestern suburbs. Hurricane warning in red from Westport to the Cape and to the lower Cape and Islands, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket for potential hurricane conditions tomorrow afternoon. This area right in here, a flood watch. Not so much due to the ocean, but because of heavy rainfall, flooding is possible. But, I wouldn't exclude areas off to our west either as far as potential for not so much river flooding, but street flooding and some of the heavier rain. So for Friday morning, it's really not that bad. In fact, at sunrise, there may be a little bit of weak sunshine. The clouds will take over, a shower late in the morning, but a better chance of some rain in the afternoon. Certainly as you get deeper into the day and towards tomorrow night, it really becomes widespread and heavy. The heat is done. Temperatures in the lower 80s. Here is Earl as it tracks off now to the northeast. The top winds at 105 miles per hour. Still a Category 2 hurricane. And here's southern New England right in here. In fact, a good representation on the Doppler radar. You can see the center of the storm right in there. And we've noticed a little jog slightly east of north, and hopefully that is a trend of a more northeasterly turn. Again, the sooner that happens, the better. 105, gust to 130, moving northeast at 16. Where is it headed? These circles represent the envelope of tropical storm force winds, and the darker red is the hurricane force wind. 8 o'clock in the evening, making its closest pass, actually tomorrow night, just south and east of Nantucket. This yellow line represents the eye. But again, don't want to write it off yet. Even at this late stage in the game, a slight shift to the left brings worse conditions further west as far as rain and wind. But just the opposite, a track a little further off to the right, further out to sea, is obviously a much better scenario. But for now, the computers have been very consistent with the track of the storm passing just south and east of Nantucket, racing away in the Canadian Maritimes by Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. Impacts, well, obviously big-time surf and some heavy waves at the beaches. And even on Saturday, when the sun comes out, the surf will still be rough. All right, I want to show you the wind impact. Who gets the hurricane force wind, and what about tropical storm force? Areas in red, the best chance for hurricane force wind gusts. Again, the lower Cape and the islands, better chances of tropical storm force winds in the areas shaded in yellow. That's mostly Rhode Island and especially along the South Shore. So there it is in detail, a wrap-up of what we can expect for tomorrow. The storm is out of here on Saturday with sunshine coming out, but a windy day at 82. Nice weather for Sunday and the holiday Monday, upper 70s to around 80 degrees. So check back with us as usual tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Make sure things do not change. The worst of the rain and wind is tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. It's a fast mover. It's gone on Saturday.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
Coming up next on Eyewitness News at 11.
As Hurricane Earl heads towards southern New England, a Rhode Island